Welcome to Retro Video Playback and to episode 13 of Tape Talk Tuesday, an episodic video series where I showcase and discuss various movies on VHS. This week from 1983 and starring Al Pacino, I'm taking a look at Scarface. This was one of those movies I heard about for as long as I can remember, but never actually saw it in full until my late teens, which I guess technically according to the R rating, that's as early as a person is supposed to see it. I remember borrowing a copy of my brother's DVD and checking it out. Truthfully, other than the chainsaw scene early on in the movie, nothing really stuck with me. I didn't watch the movie again until I was in my mid to late 20s, by which time my taste in movies had changed and developed. And this time, the movie stuck with me, and I was able to recognize it as the great movie that it is. From its synth-heavy score, to subtle humor, to the over-the-top action, I think I can say that Scarface falls somewhere within my top 20 movies of all time. Due to its runtime of nearly 3 hours, Scarface was a double tape release on VHS. As I've noted in past episodes of Tape Talk Tuesday, I very much like a double tape VHS due to the obvious increase in size of the spine, allowing for larger artwork that really shows on a shelf. It's funny how it's so often the gritty, real-world crime movies that wound up with a double tape release, like The Godfather, Heat, Scarface, and Casino, the first two of which received their own episodes of Tape Talk Tuesday, and the last one, Casino, will also receive an episode of its own in the near future. And I guess we can't forget about those other double tape releases that seem to flood the thrift store shelves, Titanic and Gone with the Wind. The front cover of Scarface on VHS is a stylized image, half black and half white, featuring Al Pacino as the movie's main character, Tony Montana, a Cuban refugee in 1980s Miami who quickly finds himself involved in the booming cocaine business. Red lettering adorns the top of the cover, with Al Pacino written on the top left, and the movie's title Scarface in the top right. Below Al Pacino's name is something you don't see too often on a front cover, a bit of a synopsis of the movie. The majority of movies will, of course, have the synopsis right up on the backside, which this one does, so it's strange to see something like this on a front cover. I actually can't think of any other movie off the top of my head that does this, but hey, it works here. It reads, "In the spring of 1980, the port of Mobile Harbor was opened, and thousands set sail for the United States. They came in search of the American dream. One of them found it on the sun-washed avenues of Miami. Wealth, power, and passion beyond his wildest dreams. He was Tony Montana. The world will remember him by another name, Scarface." And then a little lower down, we've got another couple of lines. "He loved the American dream with a vengeance." We then also have an MCA Universal Home Video logo, stereo surround, and copyright. The top and the spines are simple with black background and Scarface written in red lettering. As I stated previously, I like the bigger VHS boxes, primarily because it allows for greater freedom for the design. In this case, they really didn't take advantage of the space available to them, sticking with a standard horizontal movie title. On other double tape VHS releases, they typically go with a vertical design. In this case, though, it still works, and larger lettering stands out nicely on the shelf. At the top of the spines is an MCA logo, and at the bottom are the VHS details. The back of the box has plenty happening. At the top is the usual MCA Universal Home Video logo and copyright information, along with a barcode and VHS logo. As we move down the back of the box, we get into the action with a movie still of arguably one of the most famous movie scenes of all time. Tony Montana firing his machine gun right around the moment he screams, "Say hello to my little friend!" Yes, that was my Al Pacino impression. "Cockroaches!" Below that is a slightly less exciting shot of Michelle Pfeiffer applying some makeup. To the right of the movie still is a Scarface logo, color identification, movie runtime, and R rating, along with the movie production credits and copyright. Then we get into the plot write-up. Al Pacino gives an unforgettable performance as Tony Montana, one of the most ruthless gangsters ever depicted on film, in this gripping crime epic inspired by the 1932 classic of the same title. Directed by hitmaker Brian De Palma and produced by Martin Bregman, who brought both Godfather legends to the screen, Scarface follows the violent career of a small-time Cuban refugee hoodlum who guns his way to the top of Miami's cocaine empire. With its intense screenplay by Academy Award winner Oliver Stone, driving musical score by Giorgio Moroder, and superb insights into Miami's Latin lifestyle, Scarface joins the ranks of Hollywood's greatest underworld dramas, as it lays bare the sordid power of the American drug scene. Time magazine calls it exhilarating, while the New York Times' Vincent Canby applauds the picture as stylish and provocative. Closing out the back of the box are a couple of stickers, a Universal Studios Home Video Canada sticker, and an R rating sticker. The two tapes have paper labels featuring the Scarface logo and are virtually identical. The only difference between them, the Part 1 and 2 identifiers. On the labels, we've also got the color identification, which tells us the labels were specifically printed for the Canadian market, along with the fact that it says printed in Canada, because unlike the back of the box, color is spelled with a U. Along with it is the movie runtime, R rating, VHS identifiers, legal warning, MCA Universal Home Video logo, and copyright. While Scarface is pure 80s and is therefore at home on VHS, it really holds up and benefits from its improved resolution on this 4K Blu-ray release from October 2019. And I'll just linger on this shot for a moment to appreciate the artwork. With that, we find ourselves at the end of our discussion of Scarface on VHS and the end of episode 13 of Tape Talk Tuesday. Thanks for watching Retro Video Playback.